Okay. So we've arrived. I'm sure there's a few more people that'll come filtering in. But let's just start by being here. You stepped into a meditation class. Be in a meditation class. What that means is there isn't some other part of you thinking about your day earlier. There isn't some part of you planning your evening later on tonight. Just let it all kind of come back to this moment, this centrality of the story of you. And can you just take time out of the mix? Attend to this moment with just eternal patience. So you can just step out of the flow of time. If you can do that, everything will unclench and you'll be able to start filling back up again. For anybody new, I want to just talk a little bit about meditation. Meditation is an invitation to take your attention off of the story you've been telling over and over and over again. That story that centers around your name, filled with all kinds of ridiculous dramas, to just take your attention off of it and be with what's left. What's left is also you, but it's vast, it's unlimited, and it's free. But you can only experience it when you've really let go of that little set of boundaries we call the personality. But if you can experience it for even a few minutes, it'll change you in a really, really good way. In a way that makes it easier for you to continue taking the less functional parts of yourself apart and just stepping into something that works. You know, one of my teachers used to say it's as simple as one way works and one way doesn't. You know, you just start to notice that when you approach life without all of your expectations and all of your personality garbage in the way, everything just works. Things flow. When you think that there's something that needs to happen, or you think things aren't happening fast enough, and you start pushing and pulling, you know, it's funny, you might even get what you want, but you'll find you didn't want it. It hasn't that happened to you a million times? You think you know what you want, you go for it, you get it, and it's just you now with this new thing or this new scenario. Meditation's an invitation to let go of that entire game, at least for a period of time, to see what you are without it. Because it's so busy it blinds you to everything you are. And what you are is better, more complete, more vast, wiser, and with more capability for growth. So how do we do it? We shift our attention off of the story onto something else, anything else. In this class, we choose the breath. And we do that every time just to keep it simple. All right, you're going to be breathing every day of your life. So it's a valuable skill to be able to shift to quickly. We do it with our eyes open. So you just let them fall to a spot on the floor or the table in front of you. And you just begin to breathe. You're there for every inch of that breath. Just the simplicity of the breath itself. You don't have to make the breaths big. You don't have to do a yogic breath. You just need somewhere to anchor your attention, and we pick the breath. From there, what's going to happen? First, the mind will try and fight you, because the more time you spend focusing on that, the more the personality starts to kind of disassemble, and it doesn't want that. You know, you've got this thing you've been working on that has become so real. You know, some spiritual paths call it the parasite, because it's just constantly vying for your attention, and when it gets it, all it does is limit you. It just tells you where you can and can't go. It tells you everything wrong with your world. And it just directs your attention. Attention's a power. Attention is your power. Whatever you look at expands. So anything that can hijack your attention is indeed a parasite. Unfortunately, that parasite is the personality. Not to kill off your favorite character, but the personality is a parasite. Meticulously created by your social circumstances, but a parasite nonetheless. How do we get rid of it for a while? We stop feeding it. Stop giving it your attention. Don't let it drag you all over your inner world, through all your fears and desires. Shift instead to something else. Shift to the breath. And when the parasite starts screaming for your attention, that's all it can do. So all you have to do to see who you are without it is not look. Don't turn your attention to it. Don't play with the things it says. That little voice inside your head, don't play with it for a while. It'll still be there when you're done. But the more you see that you're not it, the more power you have over it. And over time, it slowly becomes actually more of a servant. But it's not now. Right now, it's the source of most of your problems. So let's meditate. Let's shift our attention to the breath. And when this personality starts trying to take you away, you just gently return, gently return, gently return. Nothing to fight or resist. It's okay that the parasite makes noise. It's okay that there are words in your head. Just don't play with them. Wait for the little gaps of silence between the noise. Look for the little gaps of silence between the breaths. Look for that patient, expansive space that exists between all things. And you will slip into the meditative state. Okay. So let's shift our attention to the breath. It helps when you're doing that if you keep your attention a little high in your body, right here at the forehead and crown. Go for it. Let's get started. Nothing to force. Just be with the simplicity of the breath. There's nothing else to do but sit here and breathe. If the mind has a problem with that, there's nothing to do about that either. It can say what it wants. It's entitled to its opinion. You're entitled to look elsewhere. Nothing to aspire to in this moment. Nothing to be. Pare it down to the breath and nothing else. Live one simple moment. Let it be that simple. Let go of that remaining piece. That last piece that's still clinging. That piece that if you let go of it, you're going to just be worried that you're a cork floating on the surface of the water. Go ahead and abandon yourself to the ocean. Be a cork floating on the surface of the ocean. Let go of that last piece. Do it now. You don't have to be in control right now. Funny thing about control, you don't really experience having any until you give up the need to control everything. The personality wants to control everything. It needs to control the narrative. It needs to control what's going to happen, how it's viewed. Its safety. The funny thing is, all those things that people do to try and give that control to the personality is exactly what is taking away all of their options. You know, there are people we want to keep in our lives, and so we try and control it, and we worry about whether or not they're going to stay or go. And in doing that, we drive them away. We worry about whether we're going to be safe. And so we stress. And we attract bad things into our life through that stress. Do you remember in grade school, it was always the insecure kids that got picked on? They were insecure, but what that was fear, a desire to be aware and control whether or not people pick on them. And to the wrong person, it made them irresistible for chastisement. The control you think you have is not control at all. It's enslavement. It's enslavement to a bunch of attitudes and opinions, likes and dislikes, enslavement to a storyline. A storyline that keeps you so busy you can't even see that much about your environment or what your options are or what the right timing of things would be. You lose all the wits that belong to that bigger part of you. And it's all to try and control. In doing so, you lose control. Whatever you hold tight is trying to escape from you, always. Whatever you try and push away is glued to you, always. Control through the personality is not a way to control anything. You might be able to get someone to do something they don't want to do, but you won't get them to feel the way you want them to feel. You might even be able to force something you told yourself you want, but it won't feel the way you thought it would feel when you get it. That road has never once worked for you. It's never made anybody happy. So let it go. Get your attention off of the personality and let go of that last shred of control and see what's there. If you keep going with it, I'll tell you, what you're going to find is 360 degrees of vision. You'll always know when somebody's manipulating you because you'll be able to feel it in your body. You'll make choices that are not impulsive and irrational because you're not just triggered, or if you are triggered, you know not to make a move in that moment. You'll have energy flowing through your system into your brain, so you'll be able to think up better solutions to the problems in front of you. And you'll be able to see the things that other people miss. That's control. To have it, you have to give up control. Not to me or to any teacher, but to the sacred silence that surrounds you. To the rest of you, the part of you that is not just a tiny little tip of an iceberg personality. The part of you that isn't a parasite for your attention. Give up that control in meditation. Give up that control when you're standing in front of things that scare you. Give up that control when you're looking at your next steps. The only way to step into anything and learn how to swim in it is to step into it and learn how to swim. You can't understand the current of a river by standing and fretting at the side of it. You got to get in and figure it out as you go. That takes letting go of control. Let's go back into meditation. But this time really give up. Let go of everything. And just be with the simplicity of the breath and whatever is left when you take your attention off that personality. Don't tell it what it is. That's just more control. Don't connect it to an idea of you as a spiritual person. That's just more control. Be with what's there. Don't try and define it. Just feel it the way you feel the current of a river. Your body knows everything it needs to know. Just be with that knowing. Return to the breath. So most of you are feeling some comfort. What changed? Did anything in your life change to get that comfort? The broken things that needed to be fixed in order for you to feel good, did they get fixed? All the things you're trying to heal in yourself because of certain people or jobs or all those messes. Did anything get fixed to make this feeling happen? Or are those things maybe not the problem? Is it maybe that the problem is just that you can't get your attention off of what's wrong all the time? Maybe nothing's wrong. Maybe you've got some difficult stories, but maybe that's not a problem. Maybe you're actively dying, and maybe that's okay. A simple shift in the attention to something other than whatever drama you've conjured up. Can give you the feeling that you've been trying to move mountains to get. Maybe the mountain doesn't have to move. Maybe it's just about learning to be still in the face of a mountain. Not try and control its narrative, not try and reject what's in front of you all the time. And let it all be exactly what it is. You do that, all of a sudden everything's okay. You experience that every time you meditate. You just stop rejecting the moment in front of you, and suddenly it's not a problem anymore. Even if problematic things are occurring, you've got your awareness about you, and your natural choices will make the real problems temporary, and the fake problems will be revealed as not real problems. And as you do that, you start to get healthier. Things become easier. And you have more resources at your disposal. What if nothing's wrong? And all this time, it's just been the angle through which you've been insisting on viewing everything. What if it's been fine all along? And you can stop looking at it. And you're free then to explore everything else that you are outside of that prison of a story. The vast, resonant, intelligent comfort and peace that you are. The vast ocean of silence that you are. That part of you that was here before you were born and will be here after you die. That is not separate from this moment right now. Can you feel that? That's real. Everything else is a story, playing itself out on the screen of life. The fact that a story is occurring is real, but the meaning you assign to it is not. The fact that you have to act in this world is real. The meaning you assign to it is not. And it's the meaning that you assign that is causing all your discomfort. That and the meaning that other people who are connected to you assign to things, because we do feel each other. But that's a lesser pain. You need to step into this clean place every day. Don't go to bed at night without experiencing it at least once a day. It's like a candle that just a little bit of wind will blow out. You need to make sure that candle gets lit once a day. And if it blows out and you can't figure out how to light it, you just keep coming back here and we'll light it once a week. But your job is to get it lit every day if you can. To let go of yourself and spend some time outside the personality in the vast comfort of what you are. Are there any questions about that? Marquetta, I just figured out that that was you. I'm happy to see you here. Yeah, anytime. Okay, guys. If there are no questions, I think we're going to close up a little early tonight. I feel like the energy has gone up, done its thing, and come down, and I feel like this is a reasonable closing point, even though it's only been about 40 minutes. But I'm happy to stay and answer any questions anyone has. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you, and I will be I'll be here again next week. All right. Thank you. Bye. Night.